الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Verily, all praise is for Allah. We praise Him and we seek His aid and ask for His forgiveness. And we seek refuge with Allah from the evils of ourselves and our evil actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, there is none who can misguide him. And whomsoever Allah misguides, there is none who can guide him. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, has no partner. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his slave and messenger. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, nowadays, whenever anybody visits some of the Muslim communities or even some of the Muslim countries, they find that the circumstances within them are quite different to what they would have expected. One only needs to set foot in these places and begin to wander in their streets to witness the tragic behavior of its inhabitants. When one observes the level of joy and ecstasy as the different classes of people within the Muslim communities prepare to receive the New Year's Eve, which is just around the corner, it would seem difficult to believe what one previously had heard about the Muslim lands of the past and how its people were adhering to Islam. The entrances of the hotels, cafes, and stores are festooned with decorations. Muslim families taking every opportunity to take a photo of themselves in front of such decorations, including Christmas trees, only then to expose their Muslim ladies, for example, on Facebook and the like. Vendors compete in selling their goods for people who rush to buy it for such occasions, regardless of the price. Muslims of all graduations prepare to hold parties in their houses and hotels, and these hotels have tempting special offers for people to hold their parties in their halls and party rooms during that period. Alcohol sales rocket in many stores to the extent that there are many Muslims, youth or elderly, the rich or the poor, that have their share of it. Muslims partake in selling items related to such holidays, selling candies, gift wrappers, firecrackers, and many other items, ignorant of the graveness of their acts. The media plays such a huge part in propagating and spreading these celebrations. It prepares various television programs and series in anticipation of these events. When New Year's Eve arrives, people stay up all night committing sinful acts such as drinking alcohol, partying to loud music, with all the mixing between the male and the female, and many other evil acts. Witnessing all this, some may think that they are in the midst of non-Muslims. My dear Muslim brothers and sisters, the fact of the matter is that all of these actions represent a comprehensive imitation of Western culture and can only be the result of very low levels of faith, or indeed the lack thereof. To exhibit this type of behavior is to strip oneself from the distinction and the superiority of Islam, and it is also an evil which makes Muslims who partake in such celebrations be included in the saying of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." He who imitates people will be from among them on the day of judgment. And in another narration, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The one who imitates people other than us, that is, in their faith, is not from us. Do not imitate the Jews and the Christians." When Muslims imitate the disbelievers, their rank in the sight of Allah decreases. This is because the Muslim is superior to a disbeliever. So if he were to imitate a disbeliever, then he would descend from his lofty rank to that which is inferior. And this is a form of being ungrateful for the bounties of Allah, and an insult to the religion of Islam, because Islam is superior to anything else, and nothing should be given priority over it. Islam has established a path to guidance which differs from the culture and customs of the disbelievers, regardless of whether they are from the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians, or otherwise. Islam abrogates all previous religious and legislation, and a true Islamic nation is the one to be followed, and not the one to imitate blindly others. Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived in Medina while people were celebrating two particular events, two particular festivals. So he sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, "What is the significance of these 2 days?" Some people replied, "They are the days which we used to celebrate during the pre-Islamic era." So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "Inna Allah qad abdalakum bihima khayran minhuma yawm al-adha wa yawm al-fitr." Allah has replaced them for you with 2 days which are better, the day of Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, it is not permissible for a Muslim to celebrate the New Year, because it is not one of the celebrations of the Muslims. Muslim merchants and traders must not participate in any aspect of celebrating this day. They should not imitate the Christian merchants in the types of merchandise that they sell during this period. And they should refrain from decorating their shops with special lights and other kinds of decorations to commemorate this occasion. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. Help you one another in al-birr and al-taqwa, virtue, righteousness and piety, but do not help one another in sin and transgression, and fear Allah. Verily, Allah is severe in punishment. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, it is our religious duty to boycott these celebrations. Are we unable to prevent our children and other members of our household from participating in these immoral celebrations? How can a Muslim father watch his children prepare for these parties on New Year's Eve and remain silent? Some parents even participate in this by purchasing items for them, for the parties, and by making their own plans for their night with their friends and relatives, so that the wage is paid for their children to spend the night, to spend the night with their girlfriends or even their boyfriends. By listening to music, dancing, intermixing between the opposite gender, and many other acts which Allah has prohibited and which would make morality sincere and chastity protest. Such parents seem to consider that these acts are normal, despite the fact that they will certainly be held to account for the cultivation and upbringing of their children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ. All you who believe, protect yourselves and your family from a fire whose fuel is people and stone. Did such fathers who did not prevent their children from celebrating the new year protect themselves and their children from the hellfire? Slaves of Allah, fear Allah in your behavior and actions. Remain firm on His obedience and refrain from disobeying Him. Encourage your wives and children to adhere to Islamic ruling and assist them in this. Rebuke them and restrain them from committing sins so that you may protect yourselves from the hellfire. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بما فيه من الآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.